What's up folks, Minzu Vagrant here. It's been about a month since the Nintendo Direct from June. At this point, it's probably likely that you've seen my reaction to one particular game that was announced. Oh my... what? This is... what? How is this happening? Here's the thing, I rarely get that absolutely insane about a game announcement. So today, I figured I would kind of explain myself and elaborate on just exactly what makes a remake of Super Mario RPG so important to me. Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, released for the Super Nintendo in North America in May of 1996. I was 7 years old on that date. I remember seeing the commercial and hearing about the game, most likely from my older brother. Now, this isn't the first time I had played or even seen an RPG, but I wasn't really keen on what an RPG was either. At this point, I can't really recall what my first RPG ever was. A good guess would probably be Final Fantasy IV or Final Fantasy VI. Or, actually, it could even have been Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Now, I loved all those games in their own right, but for some reason, I really liked Mario games a lot as a kid. And I say that with such perplexity because I really don't like most Mario games nowadays. I didn't really get into the 3D era of Mario. I always liked the classic side-scrolling games in the series. But anyway, when I heard about Mario RPG, I knew I just had to play it. So in true 90s fashion, we rented the game from the rental store. In those days, we only got to rent a game and keep it over the weekend. We'd go to the store on a Friday after school, pick out a game, and play it as much as possible until Sunday evening when we had to return it. So, as a kid, this meant I never got too far into the games we rented, including Mario RPG. I couldn't tell you how far I got on those occasions at this point. Around that age, I had always asked for video games as my birthday presents. Anyway, fast forward to November of that same year. Yes, I wanted Mario RPG, so that's what I asked my parents to get me. And they came through. For my 8th birthday, I received Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo. I have no idea what other gifts I got that year. That was my #1 gift. I mentioned before that Super Mario RPG was not the first RPG I had ever played. However, it was indeed the most impactful one I had ever played for a couple of reasons. For one, it was a Mario game, and remember, I kind of had a thing for Mario games as a kid. Another reason it was such an impactful game for me is because, while it wasn't the first RPG I had ever played, it was the first one I had ever owned. Most of the games in our household were communal. Not one of us owned any of the games. We all kind of owned them as a group, as a family. Mario RPG, however, because I had received it as a birthday gift, meant it was for all intents and purposes my game. That sense of ownership for something I enjoyed so much, for a game I had enjoyed so much, was very impactful to me. Scouring the world, fighting the cartoony enemies in it, and experiencing everything else the game had to offer felt like something that was mine. It just felt like something that couldn't be taken away from me. Even though, at this point, I no longer have the original game cartridge. It just kind of disappeared after so many years. No clue what happened to it. And lastly, the reason Super Mario RPG is probably one of the most important video games to me is because it is the first RPG I had ever played all the way through. Like I said before, it wasn't the first RPG I had ever played, but because I owned it, I was able to play it without the fear of no longer having access to it, like when we had to rent it from the store. I was able to play it calmly. I was able to play it without the thought in my head of, oh man, I'm gonna have to return this soon. I was able to play it to completion. I enjoyed playing Super Mario RPG so much that it spawned my love of turn-based combat in games, for games driven by a narrative, for RPGs. Super Mario RPG is what made me love RPGs. And if I'm being honest, I don't know if I'll ever play another RPG that's going to have as much impact on me as this one. So, the fact that something so cherished from my childhood is returning with a new, shiny coat of paint actually kind of feels surreal. There are only a handful of games that will make me react like this. Oh my god, what's happening? Oh my god, what's happening? No, are you fucking kidding me? And that's why Super Mario RPG means so much to me. Folks, thank you for taking the time to listen to me gush about a video game. If you enjoyed that, I'd really appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribed if you haven't already. And with that, I'll see you in the next one, and I'll see you in November when the remake comes out.